back to another video. Today we're going to be featuring Charizard in the Vigoroth core here. This is another iteration of a flyer and some kind of ground type, but also we actually have two save switches, basically the Vigoroth and the Dubwool. So here we're going to be throwing the Dragon Claw here, as the Pidgeot is concerned about being blast burned. So we do get a shield right here. This shield is going to help us be more confident in shielding the next one. Unfortunately, we also get baited with the Feather Dance. This Feather Dance is going to allow them to survive this blast burn. They end up actually taking the blast burn and then switching out. So now we have to switch into our own Vigoroth. This Vigoroth is going to be able to get to these body slams, which is the goal. Body slams will help us whittle this Whiscash down. Let's see how much damage we can take. It's going to be close. This is going to... So far, they also have a flyer ground core, but obviously a different archetype. They have the Mud Boy and a Pidgeot, as we have Charizard and a pseudo fighter. Okay, so we actually are able to get to a body slam here that we can throw at this Dugong. We're gonna have to come in with our Dubwool, as it is able to be throwing double kicks. So we do get debuff right there. This debuff is gonna help out their Dugong survive, so they ended up not shielding that. And here we know that none of their moves can KO at this range, so we still don't shield. We're kind of anticipating them switching out, so we didn't shield it. Okay, and now it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. GG's to our opponent right there. Unfortunately, they just ran into a team that we just are able to match up with them really well in the back. They had a Pidgeot double water line, and then we had the Charizard pseudo counter users, pseudo fighter users in the back. All right, next game here we have the Golbat. This is problematic. Because the Dubwool and Vigoroth in the back don't necessarily do too well against the Golbat. This Golbat is able to chunk away at our Charizard by going only Poison Fangs. So we have to at least get a shield out of this matchup. All right, perfect. We do get a shield. And unfortunately for them, we have to go for the double... Sorry, unfortunately for us, we have to go for the double shield. They do catch a move, which is okay. I mean, so far, we want to make sure we have at least a Blast Burn available. And we leave the match with a Blast Burn so we can potentially throw it back at the Golbat. Once again, we have a Whiscash in the back. This Whiscash is on the tankier side. This is just basically another version of what we just saw, right? You're seeing a ton of this core happening right now. Some kind of flyer with some kind of ground. So basically, they're just trying to farm our Vigoroth down with whatever they have in the back. We're going to throw a body slam here. They're going to tank it, and this is bad news for us. They just have a ton of energy. Okay, so they actually end up leaving with some kind of move, probably a Shadow Ball at this point. And they actually had the double Mud Boys in the back. So we're seeing a lot of this happening right now, mainly because we're seeing probably a ton of like the Charizards, or we're seeing a ton of like stuff that were weak to these ground types. We're gonna go for these body slams to try and, I don't know, at this point we have to save the Charizard for their Golbat here, and indeed we are able to save our Charizard and force out some energy from this Golbat. We know that Charizard wins CMP, so we're going to blast them away with this Blast Burn. So GG's to our opponent right there. Both of us were trying to save a move for that last end game right there, and we were lucky enough to have our double get to several moves to force out a lot of energy and tons of shields. But yeah, the Golbat so far is able to take care of all of these pseudo fighters, these Vigoroths, these Dubwools floating around. Okay, so that was a really good lead for us. They switch into their Regirock. It's a bad matchup for that Charizard, so we're gonna come in with our pseudo fighter. We just decided to go in with the Vigoroth because technically the Vigoroth has a potential super effective move, charge move, as our double is only running payback. So we invest one shield and then we decide to just take it out. Here we have plenty of energy, so we can throw a lot of body slams back at this Chestnut. This Chestnut is going to potentially try to throw a move on CMP. It looks like it. This could be the superpower. If it is, whatever. Okay, we let it go. Now we come in with our own Charizard with a counter swap to the Aurorus, and then we counter swap into our double. And fortunately for us, the double is doing double super effective double kicks. They actually end up going for their Meteor Beam. We actually shielded the hard-hitting move, and luckily for us, we were able to get a shield out of that first one. And the reason we're going for these body slams is because like most of our damage is coming from these double kicks. So all of these body slams coming in would only chip it away, and they know that they have to keep this alive because the Charizard in the back is going to absolutely wreck that Chestnut. They go for the Weather Ball here, and then they try to come in with their Chestnut, but unfortunately we have our Charizard sitting there ready, and then we're just going to be able to wing attack it down. GG's to our opponent right there. That was a pretty hard counter to their team, essentially. That Chestnut had nowhere to go because that Vigoroth that we switched into had plenty of energy. Yeah, the Golbat is probably the biggest core breaker to this team, so you would have to pay attention to some of those Golbats floating around. Here, this is a switch out, and we're going to see what they have in the back here. Okay, so the Toxapex also is basically a core breaker to our team as well. Our double is not running Wild Charge. Honestly, we should probably be running Wild Charge just for the surprise factor, because there's not a lot of stuff that we've been using payback on. So we'll consider changing that. But anyways, here it would have been close to a Wild Charge opportunity. So that's why my opponent ended up shielding. So for what it's worth, Double has done his job. It's able to get at least one shield in this scenario. If we had Wild Charge, we probably would have gone for that Wild Charge right there. But now they're just going to go for this Sludge Wave. And here we're just trying our best to get this Toxapex out of the way, because this Toxapex is actually good against our backline as well. We know that they have that Miltank, and unfortunately for us, we have another good counter to the pseudo fighter. This Charizard is going to be able to tank this body slam, and honestly here it's just a 50-50 call. Is this going to be the Blast Burn, or is this going to be the Dragon Claw? I think that our only way to win the game is if they bait, and we had to call it. Unfortunately, they go for the Blast Burn, and that's GG's. We needed them to bait so that we can get to another body slam to potentially get the last shield and then farm down, because the Miltank did have a move, or was able to get to these rock slides. But good job on our opponent for just going for the Blast Burn, and GG's to them. Considering we had that Toxapex come in, we had a chance. We had a either make that Blast Burn call or have them bait. So we're okay. We're okay with that situation. Here is the one and only Carbink. Not exactly sure how to pronounce it at this point, but we are going to be seeing this thing. We haven't seen a ton of them, but our team is unfortunately weak to it. So here we're just going to go for this Dubwool. we have seen and predicted that this is going to be on the rise. The new grass hole team, this is going to be absolutely difficult to win in the future here. This is going to have potential to be floating around the meta. This is the Carabink with the Razor Leafers. As we switch out here, we are met with another Razor Leaper. This game here comes down to, can you win switch at any point? Can you flip the matchup against any of these Razor Leafers? So my opponent was actually super aware that their I guess Shadow Victory Bell was able to survive, but also probably because our Vigoroth was so low that it probably didn't even matter anymore. So now they're just going to be able to throw Rock Slides here. We have nothing to throw at this Carabink to even come close to taking it out, so we're just going to throw a mean Dragon Claw here, and that's GG's. Let us know about this team, and hope you enjoy the video.